Good evening, good evening. Hope you can all hear me okay. I am Moira Barnes and I am coming on live tonight because my role in life, I've decided, is to help people fall in love with selling. It's something that I love doing, I enjoy doing, and I'm hoping tonight we can have a really open conversation about selling and if selling should continue during these I'm going to say that word everyone's saying, unprecedented times. So very strange times that we are in at the moment. So hopefully you can all hear me fine. Hi, lots of people tuning in, which is great. And my earphones are playing up, which is not a good start, is it? I was getting some classical music blasting in my ear then. So yes, so my reason for coming on tonight is there's been quite a lot of questions. I mean, there's millions of questions being asked at the moment about everything that's going on with the current crisis that we're all facing at the moment. But one of those key questions for us business owners is it the right time to be selling? So I just want to try and help address that for everybody this evening, because it is my heartfelt belief, and Nicola's, and we've discussed this in the Mint Business Club in the members area, my heartfelt belief is that yes, we should still be selling. If we can genuinely, hand on heart, which I'm very much about heart-centered selling, hand on heart, you can do something for somebody, you can help somebody during this time, then absolutely, why shouldn't you be selling? So we are going through a bit of the panic mode at the moment. We talked this morning in the networking session that we did that we're actually in a process of grieving, really. So there's 5 steps to the grieving process. And I definitely agree with that, is that we're still in the very, very early stages for that. I had to go on self-isolation last Tuesday, so after Monday night's announcement. Hi Gavin, hi Mark, hi everyone, hi. Me and my family put ourselves on self-isolation last Tuesday because my husband had been ill. He's now, that was 2 weeks ago that he started with symptoms, but I'm not in a hurry to un-isolate myself at the minute. So we had last week where we kind of locked down in our house. My children were off school, so we started the homeschooling then. And it is a question of juggling, hi Amy, juggling everything that's being thrown on us at the moment. Right, I sound a bit quiet, so something's not working, so I'm going to swap to my other headphones. Thank you, Lucienne, for telling me that, because I'm now going to plug in my other earphones. Bear with me, callers. Hopefully that's a bit better. Is that a better sound? Let me know if that sounds better for everybody. So I had to go into the self-isolation last week, but that's not stopped me. The wonders of technology, I've been able to carry on doing my one-to-ones that I do with clients. I've been able to do it over Zoom, over Google Meet. Thanks, Lucienne, that's great. That's easy for me to continue doing that. And if I can help people, then I will. That's what I want to do. And if I can help people during this period understand that selling is important no matter what's going on. My volume is on full. Right, that's on full. So the first thing that we need to do during these times is to not make the assumption. So we might be in this grieving period, in this panic period. And I know a lot of you, great, that's great. A lot of you have had to make some really difficult decisions over the weekend. But a lot of you, as Nicola talked about last week, have pivoted your businesses and have done it really, really quickly, which is fantastic. And it is about finding how it is you can serve your customers virtually certainly for the next few months. How can you pivot your business? We would fall very easily into into that assumptive role that you assume that everybody is really too scared to spend money at the moment, and so you feel that you don't want to be profiteering from people being in this panic situation. But I truly, truly, truly believe that if you have got something, so whether that is Anthony, you know, mortgage rate drop, helping people get their finances in order, whether that is Vicky moving your Pilates classes online, which actually I think is I know it was in your plan 8 months down the line. I think that, you know, trying to see the positive in that. For me personally, I struggled to get to your classes and I love them, they're brilliant, but I struggled to get to them. So now I'm going to be able to do them at home. That's going to work brilliantly for me. So I love the fact that you've pivoted so quickly and changed your business model in that way. So, you know, this is how we almost need to take ourselves out of our own little world and really think about what our customers want, what our customers' needs are at this point, because they will have changed slightly. So if you're in the, you know, health, fitness, mindfulness, meditation, all those health and wellness arenas, I know you're probably very sensitive to not wanting to sell too much, but actually this is the time when people really need your help. We're all in a situation that we don't truly understand yet, so please don't make the assumption that people aren't wanting to spend money. I haven't used my car in a week, so I haven't spent any money on petrol in a week. So I'm not saying that I've got loads of money to spend on lots of things, but I know that I've got a little bit of extra money to spend on things that are going to be treats for myself. So, for example, signing up to do Vicky's Pilates classes, getting a voucher from somebody to use when all this is over. Hi, Samantha. So Barbara's saying that I could teach GCSE French online. That's something, you know, homeschooling. So if you've got any kind of expertise in education, then you could offer your homeschooling abilities. Joe Wicks this morning, I don't know, I'm kind of feel like everyone must know about this, but as a parent of 2 primary age children, we were up and ready at 9 o'clock, sat in our living room waiting for Joe Wicks to come on at 9 o'clock. So he put out last Wednesday, it was an idea he said he put out last Wednesday. He suddenly realised what could he do to help in this situation, and that's the you know, the recurrent theme here. What can he do to help during this crisis? And so now he is doing PE every morning for half an hour, 9 to 9:30 on his YouTube channel. He had over 800,000 people tuning in, not people, 800,000 screens tuning in to watch this morning. So you can imagine, you multiply that. In our household there was 3 of us doing his exercise class this morning. I saw another I went online for something else later this afternoon. Yeah, my thighs are still aching, Helen. And he was saying that if you put end to end all the minutes that were watched of all the people all around the world, because it was global. I mean, he was thinking it was just going to be the UK, but he had people from Jamaica, from Dubai, trying to think of all the other places that he shouted out. So he had people from all over the world, and then people watched it on repeat later on. So overall, he says that he worked out that he had 51 years worth of viewing. So for him, that was huge. And something that he kept saying throughout it as well is that he really believed himself. It was something like 802,000 views people on at the time when we were on this morning, Helen. It just kept going up and up and up and up. But then altogether, all the time, if you laid it out, it's 51 years, he said this afternoon. But he said that he has been doing... He's gone to the likes of Channel 4, other big TV companies to talk about doing, you know, online fitness for kids, and he's been rejected. He's been turned away, but he really believed in himself. So he's been doing this. He's got his own YouTube channel, and he's been doing this. He's had some schools to kind of join in with his, because my little 5-year-old knew about Joe Wicks before I knew about Joe Wicks, and knew what you know, all the running was all about. And says he's believed in himself, and he says, and this is something, you know, he's grown his business. It's taken him several years to do this. It's not just been an instant win. And now obviously he's completely buzzing this morning from the activity that he did, and he came from a very heartfelt place. He wants to help. Yes, it might eventually lead to more sales from him, but what he's doing at the moment is really helping people. And that's what we need to do, is we need to stay on people's radar throughout this whole process. Somebody else was talking about, you know, what social media content can they put out at the moment. Everything feels a little bit awkward at the moment. Well, I think if you think about your businesses and how you can help people, so I know some people are completely switching off from social media because it is so overwhelming at the moment, and I totally agree. There are moments where I feel totally paralysed by what is going on at the moment, and this
analysis paralysis is something that there's a great book called, I've only read parts of it, I really need to get that on Audible and start listening to it, but a book called Switch from Chip and Dan Heath. And what they talk about is it's about when you're faced with really difficult situations, how to cope with them. So it's perfect for this crisis that we're going through at the moment. But they talk about you having, it's very much based on studies and psychologically, and there'll be lots of people out there that know more about this than I do. But psychologically, you've got your brain, you've got your rational brain, and you've got your emotional brain. And what's happening at the moment is that we're in analysis paralysis. So we absolutely don't know what to do next. And if you can liken it to, for example, if you are faced with a big divorce, a big messy divorce has suddenly come up, and that is kind of your tunnel vision. You're completely and utterly focused on the fact that you've got to get through this horrific divorce. But you want to book a holiday as well. But, you started thinking about booking that holiday a while ago. Now you're just too focused on this. You kind of just need a reminder. So it's like you're a horse, you're blinkered, and you just need somebody to kind of float that holiday idea back in front of your face for you to go, oh, hang on a minute, I know I need to book that holiday, I want to book that holiday. So this is why I think it's really important to try and stay on people's radars. So really think about what your business can do to help people now. Nicola, obviously, Mint Business Club is doing a phenomenal job. She's going on doing her Minty Moments every morning, a bit of positivity every morning, and she's really happy. She's getting a lot of messages from people saying how much that it is helping her. Hi, Sarah. And helping them cope with their days. I mean, it's almost a bit of structure, a bit of routine to their days. They know that they can get up and go, and rather than watch Joe Wicks, you can come and watch Nicola. So depending what floats your boat. But having that focus, she's really trying to help people because she knows how important all the members of her club are, all the members of her wider network are. She's really deciphering all the jumbled mess that seems to be out there, and really putting it in simple terms for us to understand, because I say we're in that analysis paralysis at the moment. So what we need to do is that we need to try and put ourselves into the mindset of what our customers are thinking at the moment. So we need to wonder, if it's a holiday that they're having to cancel. So we're having to cancel our holidays probably in France this year. We don't know how long this is going to last, but maybe we can start planning where it is that we would like to. Yes, of course, I'm going to compare you to Joe Wicks. We're going to get 800,000 people watching you one morning, Nicola. I'm sure that's going to happen at some point. We're starting to think about what are we going to do for our holiday. Is it going to be we're just going to put the tent up in the garden and camp in the garden? Hopefully we'll be out of this, but I want to know about other places that we can go to. So I kind of want to start dreaming about, once we've got out of this horrible situation, where are we going to go? And I think people need help with that. So yes, they're not going to book their holiday right now, but let them have a little bit of dreaming, a little bit of thought. Where are the great places around the UK that we can go and visit when all this is over and done with? There's going to be a huge street party throughout the whole world, I think, when this thing comes to an end. So there are going to be good times ahead for us. So think about what other things could your customers be. At the moment, they've kind of had this pause, this analysis paralysis, and they're paused, but what do they need reminding of? So if social media is too difficult for you to do, could you be sending out emails to you? And please don't title them COVID-19, because that happened last week. That really did quite annoy me, because again, you're in this complete, oh, what's going on? And I just kept getting email after email after email that was titled COVID-19. So just, I've just had one from Rachel Locke, who does my VAing, and she has titled it, just checking in with you, are you okay? And I think that's really quite a calm, nice way to get in touch with people. What things can you start thinking about? So restaurants that are closing, can you buy vouchers from them online so that you can go and look forward to that meal at the end of this period? Is it beauty vouchers? So Gemma Phillips of Beauty Kinds, I didn't quite get it as my Mother's Day present, so I think I'm going to have to do it myself, has got a voucher offer at the moment, which was a Mother's Day offer, and I'm hoping I can still get it. And that is something that I really want to look forward to, having a lovely Imago facial at Beauty Kinds once this is all over. So I really think that there are opportunities. I'm not saying being opportunistic, but there are opportunities. You need to decipher what it is that people need help with. So kind of the things that I think are really important is that you're not to hold back. Please don't make the assumption that people aren't going to want to buy. Don't hold back from that. Don't hold back from, if you might have had something in the pipeline coming up. So there might have been some great program that you was going to, there might be, thanks Nicola, there might be, you were going to do a program. I've got my next Selling with Heart workshop was booked for the end of April. It was a face-to-face meeting in a room, really nice collaborative workshop that was going to be planned in for the end of April. Well, that's not going to happen now, but what I'm doing is that I'm putting it online, so I'm going to start letting people know that that's something that I've done, that I'm still aware people, this is maybe a good time for them. They've got extra time on their hands, so downtime to really work on their different skills that they might not have. I know it's quite hard juggle if you've got children, and people are saying to do all these lovely crafting things. If you've got time, I think it's a brilliant idea. I rediscovered my crafting side last year, and I made a scarf with felt by with Lena Archbold. I did some paper cutting with Keely Pierce. What else did I do? Did I do cake making? I can't remember now. I did loads, and they were really good for taking you out of your busy lives that we have. So we've got this opportunity now to take ourselves out of these busy lives. And yes, I can't sit down and go to a paper cutting workshop now, but I can watch Keely do a video about that, and kind of, I've got the she can possibly post out the bits and pieces that you need, the stencils, post them online as things you can download. Cake making, mini mixers that do fantastic cake making, cake decorating workshops. That could be something that could go online, although I know that Charlotte is taking a big break because she needs to rest up. But there's lots of different things that you can help people with. So don't make the assumption that people don't want to do any buying at the moment, because it might be, yes, their salaries have been cut, but they're not going out and they just need a distraction. Who knows what the government's going to come up with? Hopefully a better deal for us self-employed people, that we're not going to be left out in the cold. So just keep thinking about what you can do to help people. However, you've got to be really sensitive, and you've got to be sensitive to the panic that is happening at the moment, but also be sensitive to the fact that people will very likely say no. But don't think that that's it, your business is done and dusted and you're going to have to close up shop and that's the end of it for you. It's probably just a no for now. And if you're sensitive about this, and if you explain that you understand that, and you almost get permission from that person to contact them again we're in this flat spin panic at the moment. 2 weeks down the line, we'll all have a new normal. We'll all be working in what is going to be our normal for the next few months, and so things will settle down, so the kids will get used to being homeschooled, and as parents we'll sort out, the kids maybe do their homeschooling in the morning and we work in the afternoon or whatever, and we swap and change with our partners. If you've been really busy running a restaurant and you're not anymore, then you're going to have the downtime to sit down. And if we get this recovery from the government, we're going to have time to work on ourselves. So is it you can get some mentoring or some life coaching in from different people, or work on a new menu, or there's going to be time. The new normal will happen, and that new normal will then need people to facilitate it. I think it's really important, and I talk about this anyway when I'm doing my sales course, my Selling with Heart course, is that you will come up against objections. So, if you get a straight no, then you've got to clarify what that no means. No, I'm never interested in ever buying from you. This is not the sort of product I'm interested in. Or no, this is not the right time for me right now. Well, when would be the right time? Is it going to be in 2 weeks? Is it going to be in 2 months? Just give me a bit of an indication. But also it could be, I can't afford it right now. Well, what could you do? Could you do staggered payments with, you're very aware of where you are financially and other people are going to be financially. So is that you could offer staggered payments for people that they pay over 3 months via Go Cardless or something like that. So just make sure that if you get any objections, that you go back to people and ask them to clarify what they mean. And really, I always tell people to pause, to almost take a step back from that objection and to really listen to what it is that's really being said, because it could be all manner of different reasons that people have got these objections. And sometimes people are comparing apples and pears. I think it's going to be different in this crazy time at the moment, but one of the things that I do say is don't assume that you're being compared to the same thing. Make sure you clarify, if they're comparing you to an apple and you're the pear, then you need to go through why it is you're different, what it is that you offer in a different way, why your value is better. So I think it's really important that you acknowledge that people will be concerned, and I think those concerns are valid, and you need to help validate that for anybody that you're talking to, any customers that you're talking to, because you also don't want to be seen as being heartless. The whole point is I want people to sell with heart and to be really authentic and understand that you need the business, yes, but you understand that that person's got concerns and they might just not be in the position to make any decision at the moment because they're in that analysis paralysis. So really acknowledge that what their concerns are, and anybody who has this is really valid. You've got to reach out to people. So I talk about this quite a lot. The fortune is in the follow-up. So I know there's, identify where your customers are now, because if they have gone off social media, then how do you contact them via email newsletters, or is there a different way that you can get in touch with them? There's all kind of, auto bots now, messenger bots, lots of different ways. Facebook pages, Facebook groups are really, so if you've got a Facebook group, I've got a Facebook group and I'm not very active in it, and that's totally and utterly terrible. I tell people to be active and then I'm not active in my own, so I need to be more active in my own group. But Facebook groups, building that community where, a perfect example is the Mint Business Club. So, business support from Mint Business Club. I think there's a fantastic community in here. There's so many of us in here and we all help each other out all the time, which is really great. But in the members club as well, you get kind of like one level further, deeper dive into getting to collaborate with people and get to know people more. So if you've got Facebook groups, really engage with people in there, help them help each other out. You kind of are the conduit. So it's not necessarily you're going in there to be all like, I'm selling. You're the conduit for people to help them help each other. So if you've got Facebook groups, that's really good for that. LinkedIn, if LinkedIn is an important place for you, then I've noticed actually that LinkedIn has slightly changed the last few days, understandably, because of everything, people working from home. So I've been seeing people posting about what happened on Mother's Day. I don't think LinkedIn's going to become completely like Facebook, but the good thing about LinkedIn at the moment, it isn't ruled by the algorithms that you have on Facebook. So LinkedIn is a really great platform for getting your messages seen by, so if somebody comments on your posts and it gets seen by their network, then it's a great way of growing your network. And just, again, being helpful and staying on people's radars there, doing videos, or, in fact, any form of engagement, any form of content on LinkedIn, none of it is penalised. Again, the way that Facebook seems to, Facebook loves lives, so we'll push lives up people's feeds. LinkedIn seems to just be kind of free for all, post whatever you want. We don't mind. So LinkedIn is a really good one if you've got a very business to business. If that would help you, then make use of that. If you don't know about LinkedIn, then find out about LinkedIn. There's loads of trainings about LinkedIn, and just be active on there. Instagram stories, that's really interesting, isn't it? These are going to be great things for us to look back in a year's time, is how did we cope with our lives, our businesses. And if you are seeing that you were kept active and you kept really positive during this time, then I think that's going to come back and pay you in dividends further down the line. So be really active if you can. If that's one of your platforms, be active on there. Instagram stories, Facebook stories, I think gets pushed. It's not as big, I don't think, but from what I've read, I think Facebook are trying to push more of the stories. So if you can link your stories from Instagram to Facebook, that's what I tend to do, to try and keep active in that arena. So you've got to ask yourself questions at the end of the day. Am I making assumptions? Am I in a really scared place at the moment and assume that everybody else is in the same place as me? We shouldn't do this in normal times. We shouldn't do this when it's, we're not in crisis periods. We should always make sure that we have a real think about what our customers want, and is it possible others are ready to carry on? Because I say I feel like I'm a week further down the line than some of my friends, some people that I know, because we went down into our own kind of lockdown last week. So maybe I'm a week further along. That could be the same for other people as well. The next few weeks are going to be very strange for us, but maybe people want to spend to take their mind off the craziness. So if they have got money to spend, then why go and spend at John Lewis and Marks and Spencer or whoever else can still deliver, when they could maybe spend with somebody local who could just drop it at your doorstep, if it's a product-based business. But service-based businesses, if you can pivot, if you can show your value and how brilliant you are, then I think it's really important to keep on that radar for people. So I think I talked a little bit about the psychological reasons why people are maybe not making decisions at the moment. Definitely recommend, if you've got the time, to read that book, Switch. As I say, it's by Chip and Dan Heath. It's a really good book to read. But it is that, if people are feeling really uncertain about what's happening, then you've got to really appreciate that. These times are very uncertain psychologically. People cannot make decisions at the moment, and that's fine. And I think if, when you're going in for a close on the sale, if you can say things like, if things weren't feeling quite as uncertain as they are at the moment, do you think this would be something that you go ahead with? And if they kind of and ah about it, get the permission to go back to them in a few weeks' time. Let the craziness of the next 2 weeks go by and then follow up, but make sure you always follow up. Julia, no worries if you need to go off, that's fine, and no problem, my pleasure. I'm going to go look on my phone now, see if there's any questions that I've missed. So if there's any questions that anybody wants to ask me. Bear with me, callers. Trying to find it now on my... Here we are. Oh, right, yes. Brilliant. Can't even find my own video on here. This is good. See if I can scroll through here without losing you. Thank you for the lovely words. But if anybody's got any questions... But I just think there's so much to be said, and if you can be helpful for people, and I'm not saying give away your time, still value yourself. Please don't give away all your time. Be very mindful, and don't throw away your values. That's I knew there was something else I wanted to talk about. Is I had a one-to-one with someone today, and they were saying they'd kind of gone into that panic mode, and they thought, do I just chuck all my values out the window and just sell at a really low rate and devalue? And that's definitely not what I'm advising you to do at all. Please hold on to those brand values, and if you've not done it for a while, actually do a bit of revision and work on your brand values. Amy Purdy of Whiteacres did a really good challenge recently. I'm not sure if it's still available on her page, but that was really good at getting you to look at your brand values and making sure that you match up your brand values with what your branding is, and your brand values don't just have to be your branding as in your logo. It's also talking about how do you offer that value in the advice that you give people, in the way you come across, the way you show yourself. Perfect example at the moment, of course, is that we're all doing these lives. If you can, I would advise trying to not go on in your pajamas. In intimate groups where you all know each other, maybe that's fine. But if you are putting out videos that are representing you and your business, then please try and remember that even though you're working from it, if you're not used to working from home and you're suddenly working from home, remember that you really should be projecting that professional business person that you are, if that is aligned with your brand values. Obviously, if you're I don't know, a party entertainer, you wouldn't come on in a suit and tie, would you? But if you are somebody that, you know, expected to be looking fairly smart, then just try and do that in any lives that you do, any one-to-ones, any Zoom calls, Google Hangouts, Google Meets, all those different things. Just try and make yourself project your brand values, but don't suddenly stack them high and sell them cheap if that's not the way you normally work. So offer some value. I think that's really important. Offer value. If people aren't buying from you at the moment, offer them something that they will feel is of some value to them, but that hasn't completely cut the heart out of your business. And offer that out to people, and they will remember you for that. So Nicola talked this morning about when this is all over, can you look back at your business and think, I actually did things that added value to people's lives during this horrible, horrible time? Or did you just bury your head in the sand? And hopefully most of the people that are part of our community, I don't think are going to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're really panicking and you're finding it really overwhelming, you need to take a breather. That's absolutely fine. It's still only brand new with this, you know, has only got serious for us in the last week. But please try and get through the panic and see that it's really important to keep your brand values high, to keep your visibility high, so that people will see you and will come back to you when this is all over. And it will all be over. We'll get through this. Our children are going to talk about it for years, about the time that mummy and daddy were trying to teach them. I can't even think of some of the things I've been trying to teach my children this morning because it's all a foreign language to me. And that includes my reception child. But they'll look back at this quite fondly. We'll look back at this and be laughing so much, because if we didn't laugh, we'd cry. We're going to have the biggest street party when this is all over, I swear. And I know Nicola is already planning an absolutely massive party for all the Minties. So I think it's really important. Obviously, we've got this wonderful group that we're talking in now, but I think it's worth mentioning the value that I feel that I am getting out of the Mint Business Club at the moment. We have Nicola and the team, so Peter Surridge, Suzanne Whelan, have turned around the Mint Business Club, and all the training is going online. So we did the first networking event this morning, which was hilarious, but it was brilliant. It was really, really good. And we were able to have breakout rooms for doing one-to-one mentoring sessions with people. It just worked really good. But if you know of anybody that isn't in this business support for the Mint Business Club, then please tell them to come along, because we're going to do this regularly. So we're doing a lot of stuff in the members only area, but we also don't want to forget about all the people in our wider Mint Business, the support network that we offer. That's the name of this Facebook group. And we want to offer as much support as possible for everyone. So if you know any business owners that haven't had any interactions with Mint before, then please do direct them to this page. Obviously, if you want to join the club. It's brilliant. I'm a huge advocate for it. It's transformed my business, and we just had such a brilliant networking session this morning. It just makes you feel so much calmer that you're not alone, that everybody's having exactly these same worries, these same concerns. But it's really nice to have somebody who's not completely blinkered in that panic mode, which most of us are, to be able to say, well, actually, why don't you do this? Why don't you try that? So we were bouncing around lots of different ideas today about how we can help each other, and long may that last. So yeah, if you know anyone who's not in this group yet, get them over, get them in, and that would be great. Oh, Sarah, do you want to just come and I'll move a camera into our playroom that I've set up as the classroom, and I'll just let you crack on with my two. That would be really good. No kidding. It is really nice to be spending extra time with our families. So you've got to find the nuggets, as Nicola talked this morning about the sanity jar. Finding those nuggets of joy in this whole situation is really important. But yes, please let us know. So let us know either in this feed or in this group what other support you need from Mint Business Club, and we'll try and do as much as we can to help you over the next few weeks. So I think we're going to make possibly Monday night live something that we do regularly, because there's lots of stuff going on in the daytime, but we're going to make this something that happens in the evenings when people are kind of relaxing a little bit more. The Mint Business Club members area, we're having daily trainings that are happening, but I think in this group we're going to see if we can do something as often as we can. So if nobody's got any questions, just going to go through, see if there's any questions. Great advice, you're welcome. I see odd things pop up. Oh yes, we're having a big party. We're definitely having a big party. Loungewear, Sean, loungewear. Right. I don't think... Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, exactly. There you go. You've got people in the group, Sarah Heron, Lucy Ann Gage, who could give us what to wear at home when we're lounging about. So the time now is just gone 8:05. So I hope that has been of use and of value for you. I am around if anybody wants to drop me a message to, if they've got any specific sales questions that they want to ask me, then please get in touch with me. My Facebook page is, you search for MB Sales Consultancy and I should pop up with a face like that one. I'm on LinkedIn as well, and you can find me via the Mint Business Club as well, but I'm happy to help anybody with any sales questions that they might have. But good to see you all here, and I hope we shall see you all at a massive party when this is all over. So take care. Boris, our esteemed leader, is on in about 25 minutes, so let's see what he has to say. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye bye.